As the basketball legend Michael Jordan once said, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. Though it can be easy to think that insurance is a one-person game, there are actually many benefits to playing your strategy as a team. That's where strategic partnerships can be so powerful. They can give your agency the opportunity to grow its customer base, oftentimes without having to invest much time or financial resources. In this video, we'll discuss the benefits of forming partnerships and how you can use these relationships to increase your number of customers. In particular, we'll answer the following questions. What criteria should I consider when determining a partner? How do I find a partner that works with my target audience? How do I manage and grow my partnerships? Most of the time, the goal of strategic partnerships is to increase your number of prospects. In some cases, however, an agency might utilize a partnership to elevate their brand or strengthen their credibility. For example, if you write a lot of insurance for restaurants, you might partner with Yelp to produce a webinar or blog series. Sure, you'll likely get leads from Yelp's network, which is always good, but you'll also gain consumer trust when prospects see you have worked with a well-known brand in the food industry. This is an example of a partnership goal that strengthens your credibility. But let's get back to your primary goal, using partnerships to increase your number of prospects. The biggest benefit of using partnerships is you have better chances of interacting with qualified leads. This is a term we'll explore in a later lesson. But in short, a qualified lead is a prospect that has expressed interest in buying your products. It's worth noting that sometimes the expressed interest is inferred. For example, if one of your prospects regularly opens up your newsletters but hasn't explicitly mentioned wanting to buy your insurance, they're still a qualified lead. The more qualified a lead, the more likely they are to purchase insurance from you. That's why strategic partnerships are so powerful. They allow you to target other companies and organizations who work with audiences very similar to your own. Another huge benefit to strategic partnerships is it allows you to keep a very low cost per lead. In many cases, the only costs involved in strategic partnerships are soft costs, such as the expense of creating and managing relationships. Whereas in other marketing channels, such as digital advertising, you may need to spend thousands of dollars to attract leads. But with the right partnerships, many times all you're investing is time. Before you jump into any partnership, make sure you understand the criteria required to identify an effective partner specific to your agency. And while I celebrated the fact that partnerships often don't require any hard costs, you should still be cautious of ineffective partnerships that suck up your time. After all, time is money. Let's take a look at the criteria you should consider when assessing a potential partner. The first and most important criteria is compatibility of lists. Make sure that for the most part, the partner's list is aligned with your target audience. The less compatible the list, then the more time you'll waste on undesirable quoting. For commercial insurance agencies, the natural go-to options for potential partners are mortgage brokers, loan officers, real estate agents, and car dealers. This is not an exhaustive list, and strategic partnerships require a little bit of creativity. Try using the following brainstorming questions to see if any other partnership ideas surface. Who sells to my target audience? Who does my target audience go to for advice or help? Does my target audience belong to any affinity groups? Where does my target audience spend most of their free time? What does my target audience need outside of the products my agency provides? The second criteria we'll discuss is size of list. Obviously, the bigger the list, the better. Selling is a numbers game, so it's to your advantage to work with a partner who can put your name in front of as many people as possible. However, don't overly bias the need for a large list. If you're just getting started with a partnership, it's okay to start with options that may yield fewer leads. In the earlier stage, it's all about figuring out what works and then improving on those relationships for the future. Another reason why list size is not always the most important factor is because influence over the list is more likely to yield results. That's the next criteria we'll discuss: influence over list. Your influence over the list refers to your ability to get your audience to engage. For example, the industry standard for open rate emails is between 25 and 30%. If a partner has a smaller list size but a higher open rate, then they can still be a channel worth exploring. This is why working with mortgage brokers has proven to be successful for many insurance agencies. Many first-time homeowners don't quite understand all the requirements that go into purchasing and managing a new home. And for this reason, they look to their broker for guidance. Oftentimes, the consumer and broker develop a close relationship. In essence, the broker develops a huge influence over the customer. So the broker gives a recommendation for insurance providers, the chances are they will heed the broker's advice. The fourth criteria to consider is the partner's willingness to act. Even the best possible strategic fit won't get far unless the other party is willing to and can execute. Laziness is rampant in business. Just because people should act doesn't mean they will. To avoid issues, make sure you clearly communicate expectations for both parties. Whenever possible, use quantifiable measurements to dictate required activities. For example, you might ask a partner to give out 50 of your business cards each week or post about your agency 4 times on social media per month. Don't forget to also include a note about reporting. When possible, make sure that you schedule times with your partner to reflect on what's going well and what can be improved. Keep the tone positive and always come from a curious case. For example, if you're worried about your partner's lack of urgency with referring business, you might inquire about their process and offer any help. You should treat your partners like you treat your customers. So when there are issues, be specific but supportive. If they feel supported, then they will return the favor. So make sure you're regularly communicating, whether it's sending gifts or messages during holidays, or updating them on the amount of business you're sending. Related to expectations, you should make sure you have a fair economic arrangement set up between both parties. What are the payment terms? Will one party pay the other at a discount? If there is a referral discount or bonus involved, how often will it be paid out, and how long does each party have to process the payment? If you're not doing revenue share and you're just referring business, how will you monitor accountability? Make sure you can coordinate referral links so you can assess if your partner is actually pushing leads to your business. This will help in the event that you need to have a difficult conversation about performance. You can let the data speak for itself. And that brings us to our last point, knowing when to say goodbye. Strategic partnerships can consume time, so periodically consider reviewing each partner's performance. Are they meeting expectations? Are they engaged? Are they interested in figuring out how to strengthen the partnership? Like I said before, let the data speak for itself. Many partnerships are designed intentionally to be temporary. Don't feel like you need to maintain partnerships because of optics. However, make sure that you're also fulfilling the terms of your agreement. After you've assessed all factors, then have the discussion in person and work together on a transition plan.